Quick disclaimer, I did reach out to the creator of the document covered in this video, given certain events that I'll explain later, and was given the okay to cover the situation. No additional info was gained from DMing them, and all information covered here is publicly accessible. The context. Sindictae, also commonly known as Ghostaris, is an indie VTuber who streams on Kick and YouTube. While this has been a long-term ongoing situation as of this video, exposure of the situation would peak on April 9th, 2026, when indie VTuber Hatsune Mizu uploaded a Google Doc containing over 580 pages of accusations and evidence regarding Sindictae's conduct that continues to be updated as of the video's publication. This would be the document's second time being published, as the first time was taken down due to doxing threats from Sindictae. The accusations. The doc is divided up into 14 separate sections, each containing specific accusations, evidence, and additional commentary from the three authors of the doc, along with a general timeline of various relevant posts and events. These accusations include, but are not limited to, harassment towards women, violent threats, including abuse and doxing, scamming artists, and grooming a 16-year-old. Perhaps the most well-known accusation against Sindictae is of him constantly reaching out to female VTubers in hopes of connecting and collabing with them through the usage of several Twitter and Discord accounts. The reason I say this is the most well-known accusation is due to the sheer amount of posts talking about experiences with Sindictae, with 112 different links to these posts and 40 pages of screenshots from one section alone, not counting those in other sections. The general sentiment from all of these posts follows the following flowchart. Sindictae asks to add you for collabing, you say no, he gets confrontational, you elaborate, he blocks you. You say yes to collabing, he adds you and asks for collab details. You say you can't do a specific time for whatever reason, he gets confrontational. You elaborate, he blocks you. The doc would also go into detail about various threats made by Sindictae to others, with one of the sections focusing more on the intense threats that would lead to 7 of his 18 Twitter accounts being suspended. Outside of this section, instances of Sindictae threatening to call the cops and the FBI, and actually following through with both of them on stream, telling people they are making a mistake by blocking them on Discord, and threatening people in general were a common occurrence. A 57-page doc from April 7th, 2024 would also be linked in this doc that alleged that back in August of 2022, Sindictae scammed an artist out of a VTuber model and design by faking a $100 invoice. Another instance of theft would include the usage of a lantern design when he lost the permission to use it, which would lead to a DMCA takedown of his Twitch VODs and a ban on his Twitch account. The last section that will be covered here involves a 16-year-old and how they were allowed to stay in Sindictae's 18+ community. Now, I will emphasize that there wasn't anything sexual in this situation, according to the doc writers. However, according to the doc, he was attempting to weaponize and manipulate this minor over the span of roughly 2 weeks into fighting for him, which does meet the definition of grooming. It would also turn out that he attempted to reach out to a minor on Twitter on May 6, 2026 as well. The aftermath. In terms of general responses, the community held a very favorable opinion towards the doc, with many expressing their support towards those impacted, along with more people speaking out about their experiences with Sindictae. He would acknowledge the doc, claim it's false, and continue to reach out to female VTubers in hopes of connecting with them, though a few users would begin warning them about his conduct by linking the doc to them. As previously stated, Sindictae would go on to call the FBI twice, the first time being on May 24th, 2026, and the second time being on June 1st, 2026. Both of these wouldn't lead to any action from law enforcement. However, the second time would lead to an intervention from a few individuals who had a conversation with Sindictae in hopes of getting him to understand his actions so that he can change for the better. And he appeared to be receptive to what they were telling him. By the end of the day, there was some hope from the document authors and contributors, or at the very least, some tolerance towards him for the time being, as they chose to put a pause on updating his actions on the doc for now. Sindictae would post a brief apology tweet to Mizu and Aries the next day, which would not be well received by either of them, though they would acknowledge it for now in hopes that things get better. Note that an apology happened a few months prior on March 9th, where Mizu expressed a deep negativity towards it for various reasons. So, did things end up getting better? Not really, as users would continue to speak out about recent interactions with him, where he would still be consistently reaching out to female VTubers only in hopes of connecting with them, even going so far as blocking some VTubers due to their ethnicity, though there wouldn't be any publicized threats made to those creators from Sindictae. Mizu would start to lose patience towards Sindictae, though would still give him some grace for the sake of those who were trying to help better Sindictae. Unfortunately, the straw that broke the camel's back would happen on June 3rd, 2026, when Mizu wanted to see if Sindictae was changing for the better by going undercover on Blue Sky. Sindictae would message her her, and immediately ask for her age and ethnicity, emphasizing a preference for a full white person. Mizu would bring up the doc, to which he would say that it was false, and that he allegedly made up with the authors of the doc. This would lead to Mizu no longer having faith in Sindictae, and announced that she would continue to update the doc as usual. As of the video's publication, the doc continues to be updated with posts and statements from those who have interacted with Sindictae, and while we can hope for the better, it isn't fully clear as to whether Sindictae will change for the better or not. As with all my videos, do not harass anyone in or outside of this video.